Hi, I'm here with Iggy Allen, 5'11", 27 years old, four universities, eight countries apart from the US, currently in country number nine, sitting in a beautiful bungalow to which she moved in like a month ago. Am I right? A month ago?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So country number nine is Turkey. And how does a girl from Florida end up in Turkey?
Well, it's a pretty funny story. It's a blessing nonetheless. But being in Turkey is actually a dream come true. I wanted to play in Turkey and also a few other countries, but Turkey was on my bucket list. Now I can scratch it off. So I'm just happy to be here.
Okay. May I ask what other countries are on your bucket list, or we don't want to jinx it?
No, I think it's not so much of jinxing it, but manifesting it. So, Turkey is one of them. I can cross that one off. China, I would love to play in Spain, Greece, certain countries like that. Yes.
Okay, okay. So I'm guessing countries where the weather is fine, right? So because you've
Hmm.
played in cold places, and we will get to them later, right? So I want to start by asking you about the origins of your nickname, Iggy.
Hmm. Yeah. So I received that nickname my freshman year of high school, only a few months into playing basketball. So my coach, my high school coach, he had a nickname for everyone on the team. He couldn't like completely grasp a good nickname for me, so he asked one of our team captains. She then told him we should name her Prodigy. And he's like, "Well, I'm not just going to call her Prodigy. She has to earn the name." So the last three letters of Prodigy is IGY. So I just added an extra G, and everyone
Okay.
started calling me Iggy. I was supposed to earn the rest of the name. My nickname is supposed to be Prodigy, but everyone just got used to calling me Iggy. I got used to it, and so here we are.
Okay, okay. But you have no qualms with your like original government name, right?
Yes, no, it has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Okay, okay. Because I mean, anywhere I could find you, you figure as Iggy, apart from the Eurobasket website when you're as Jacaira or
Yes.
Jacaira.
Yes, and they changed that. It was maybe a year ago or
Okay,
maybe like two contracts ago, 2 years ago. It was showing up as Iggy Allen, and now when I search it, I have to type in my actual name. So I don't know what happened, but yeah.
okay. It sounds more serious, I guess. By the way,
Right.
yeah. So, and speaking of serious things, when and how did religion enter your life? Because you are a very religious person. I mean, on your Instagram page, there's a quote from the Bible. Well, not there's not a quote. There's how do you call it in English? Because I'm kind of
Scripture.
confused. Oh, okay, okay.
Mhm.
On your website, right? On your social media site. So, when did religion and how did religion enter your life?
It's always been a part of my life, being spiritual, having a connection with God has always been a part of my life. But I want to say in the last year, I really honed in, uh, trying to strengthen my relationship with God. Well, not trying, but strengthening my relationship with God and keeping my focus, keeping Him at the center point of my life, seeing Him in everything that I do and always glorifying his name because every opportunity and everything that I do and my abilities, it all comes from him and he deserves all the praise.
Okay, okay. And well, you said that you were spiritual from the beginning. If we can talk about your beginnings, because you come from quite a household, like four siblings, right? Growing up
Mhm.
in Florida, what was that like?
So I only grew up with one sibling, really.
Okay.
So this is my mom and my dad's kids. My dad has four, my mom has two. I did grow up with my siblings from my father's side, but not as I didn't see them as much as I saw my mom's kid, which
Hmm.
is my sister, my second oldest sister. So it was just a trio in my household growing up. Um, but I did, like I said, see my dad's kids a lot. My brothers and
Okay.
sisters on my dad's side.
Okay. And your older, second oldest sister, right? Had quite an
Yes,
impact on your life because she was the one who first started playing basketball, and you
that's
sort of
correct.
started in eighth grade. So how did
Mhm.
that look like? Did she like one day was looking for a partner to play and she invited you or
So, my sister, freshman year of high school, excuse me, she started to play basketball for the Coconut Creek High School team, which was going to be my high school when I went. Um, she just used to come home telling me all about it. At that time, I was playing street football with no shoes on, just in a row with a whole bunch of boys from the neighborhood. So I always had like the physical part down. I didn't mind getting hit or you know falling down or whatever, getting scraped up. It never mattered to me or my sister. But when my sister started to tell me about basketball and how it was an organized sport. I then it kind of piqued my interest then, and I wanted to try it out. And luckily, I was a really quick learner. I spent a lot of time in the gym over the summer, from my eighth grade summer to my freshman year of high school. And everything just fell into place after that. I've started to find trainers. Um, I started to turn heads. I got a lot of attention. With how fast I progressed in basketball. So my sister was a huge part of that without even knowing really. Um, Anybody would look at it and just see a younger sister following her older sister, but she doesn't know how much she paved the way for me.
Mhm. One might say that you were quite the prodigy, right?
Exactly.
Earning the nickname. Yeah. So,
I still feel like I'm earning the nickname. Sorry to cut you off.
no problem. Okay. And in the high school nationals, representing Dillard High School, you actually played at Madison Square Garden. How big of a
Yes.
deal was it to go there and to actually like see the court, see the people
It
in the
was a
stands? Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. It was a really big deal. At that time, I wasn't able to grasp it. I was young. I was what 16, 17. I didn't really know um like the seriousness, how grave that situation, how grave that opportunity was. But as I look back, I'm like, man, I can cross off a lot of things that a lot of people can't. And it's not to brag, but it's just to be grateful and thankful for. I stepped foot in Madison Square Garden. Not only that, I played on the court, and that is a very honorable court in the history of basketball.
Yeah. And it was just 2 or 3 years after you picked up a basketball. Two or
That
three.
was
I
that
think
was
two.
that was at that time about four
Four.
4 years we
Okay.
played Madison. No, I'm sorry, 3 years. 3 years. You're
Okay.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So incredible, right?
Mhm.
And you also, I'm guessing you had a lot of schools clamoring for your attention when you graduated from high school, right? And you
Yes.
picked Mississippi State. Why?
Mhm.
Why Mississippi State out of all the places?
Well, when me and my mom we went on the visit together, the town that it was in is like a rural area, a lot different from what I'm used to being in the city, and um, just it's just something just complete. It was something completely different from what I was used to. They were very welcoming. The team, the coaches, he had a plan for me. Not that the other schools didn't, but it was something about that first visit. And usually everyone forgets about that first visit. And it's maybe the second or the last that they ended up committing to. But I just couldn't get Mississippi State out of my head. The visit, the atmosphere, the town, it still is a really big basketball town, as far as the fans and the support, the culture, the cowbells, Hail State, the Bulldogs, everything it just fit exactly what I wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, and your team was pretty stacked that season, and your second season as well, because they ended up going back to back. I mean, you ended up going to back championship games, and you didn't play in your championship game as a sophomore. Why we will get to in a moment, but why? Uh, Maybe not why, but how did it feel to enter the court even though it was a single minute, right? During
Yes.
the
I mean,
championship game. How did it feel as a freshman?
I was I was nervous. I was nervous. I also had a former AAU basketball teammate, Micaiah Harringen. She was playing for the South Carolina team. That's who we ended up playing in the national championship, and we both were in the game. And I don't remember if there's an exchange of words there, but I just remember us both being kids. Now we're, young adults on that level. So it was just a moment that I was just trying to hold on to. And I scored a free throw in that game
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah. And did you at that moment think that maybe well, sometimes people get used to the good things, right? So were you
Mhm.
feeling like, yeah, this is something that I will be doing for the next 4 years, just appearing in championship games, winning a lot of stuff, etc. Obviously playing more minutes as time progressed
Mhm.
in those contests.
I don't think I thought about that part. I just knew the things that we were doing. I don't think anybody else in the country was doing. Coach Vic Schaefer was an amazing impact on my life. Offensively, defensively, he covered his tracks with every part of the game, every side of the court. And since leaving Mississippi State, I've never experienced another practice like the kind of practices that we had with him. So I knew that we would be a good team. Whether or not we would make it to the championship or not, nobody in the country was working as hard as we were.
Okay. So those workouts were, or those trainings were special because they were so hard, or they were so organized and detailed. What what
They
was the
were
secret?
they were intentional. I mean, everything we worked out from scout, we would have uh, our maybe like bench players. It would be our bench players, and also um, practice players come in and literally play like our opponents. If she has a step back in her bag, that player that was imitating that player that we're going to play against would do those exact moves. If she was super fast, we would have a super fast player imitating that player. If she was slow, if she would go over the left shoulder, it was very intentional, and just I've never experienced anything like it. But
Okay.
looking back on it, I can say that. But in those moments, I'm like, why are we doing this? This is crazy. This is silly, but it's very intentional. I love basketball when it's intentional.
Yeah, but you're a kid still, so it's not like
Right.
you don't see like long term, long distance consequences of certain actions. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So, and then your sophomore season, well, actually preseason, the injury happens. So, what can you tell us about just because it's well behind you, so I guess it's okay to talk about it now, right? So, uh, how did you feel at the moment, and how did you build yourself back up?
Well, when it happened in practice, the sixth practice of the season. I believe it was October 9th. I still remember the day. October 9th, the sixth practice of the year, and I lunged instead of like running in front of the ball, which we practice a lot, keeping your nose on the ball.
Mhm.
Um, and I just made one bad move. My foot basically got stuck in mud and it operated and went the wrong way. And in the moment, when I fell down, I immediately, of course, I started to scream and cry. Once they picked me up and brought me to the back, I was like, "It's my ACL. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done." We did an MRI. Coach actually came and told me. Coach Vic Schaefer came and told me while I was at study hall that my knee was blown and I would need to prepare for surgery. But what was so great about my sophomore year? Um, Before the injury happened, I had spent a lot of time working out. I was looking I was looking the best. And there's somewhere on the internet an interview of Coach Vic Schaefer saying that I was looking really good and I had an opportunity to start that year. So I mean, I wish that things were different so I can see where I would be now, um, or just how I would have turned out. We just
Hmm.
have different. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But
No,
just we
go
just
on.
we would like to see different outcomes and things, and I
Yeah,
wish
yeah,
that I
yeah.
would have saw a different outcome other than me getting injured, and just progressing in that season. But I just felt devastated. I immediately called my mom and my sister, let them know what was going on, and I didn't want them to come down for surgery. I wanted to just go through it by myself. I had a really great support system with my friends from Mississippi State and also my teammates. So I kind of went through that process alone. Uh, Rehabilitation, that was probably my favorite part. We had Marcy Hopper Coach Marcy Hopper was our strength and conditioning coach. She nursed me back to health. I mean, I'm very thankful for that woman to this day. Haven't had, I've knock on wood, I haven't had any other issues with my knee. It actually, in fact, doesn't feel like I ever had surgery on my knee. So nothing, that's nobody but God,
Mm.
honestly. And for me to still play after 9 years having the surgery and not getting injured again is really great. The doctors were great. And they already prepped me before. They let me know that I was in great hands, and it turned out to be true. So,
Yeah. It's interesting that you didn't like want company. Because there's this
mhm.
old saying that misery loves company, right? So when something bad happens to you, like people tend to gather around you, but you wanted to be on your own and you wanted to just handle the stuff or on your own. Were you always like that, like self-dependent and self-reliant?
Yes, and I'm very hopeful, and believe I believe in myself a lot, a ton. It's crazy. My mom, she worked a lot when I was younger, so she wasn't able to make it to the games. But in her absence, I still did, amazing things. I turned a lot of heads. I gathered a lot of attention from a lot of big schools, and this is without a support system. So I knew for an injury I didn't need a support system. I just needed, maybe a few words of encouragement from
Hmm.
here or there. And also, like I said before, they prepped me for the surgery. You're in great hands. The doctor is the best. He does all the football surgeries. No one's had the percentage of you getting hurt is this. You're gonna have a new knee. This knee is gonna be stronger than this one. So I just believed all that and I soaked it in, and look at me now.
Yeah, yeah. And but you eventually moved back to Florida after the season, and you were able to rebuild yourself at Miami University. So how did you come up with the idea to transfer, and how did you handle basically returning back home?
Well, everyone who plays basketball, if they go to a different state in their first year or second year, and however they decide that they want to come home, it feels like a homecoming. It really does. It feels like you have to put on and represent your family, represent the name on the front and back. And going to Miami, that's what my thoughts were. That's what my intentions were, to really shake things up and represent my home state. So it was a it was an experience. It was an experience. It was a good experience. I learned a lot of valuable lessons coming back home. And at that time, I was a little more mature. I knew probably coming out of high school, me going to Miami wouldn't have been the best decision. Just knowing that I just like to just have fun and go out and just do things that probably I could probably end up in the wrong place at the wrong time or something of that sort. So my decision to go to Mississippi State, mature a bit, go to University of Miami. Not that it was planned, but since it turned out that way, I think it was a good thing. I think I went to Miami a little more mature, of course, from my freshman year.
Yeah, do you had quite a reputation, right? Especially like in the 90s, probably. So yeah, 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 yeah. And So after a year, you moved to Florida Atlantic University, and you performed so well that you in 2021 CUSA Newcomer of the Year, CUSA First Team, CUSA All Defensive Team. What was so special during that season playing for the Owls? Because your stats basically double, right, when it comes to points and either like other vital parts of your game. So what was so special?
Um, well, I didn't get the opportunity how I wanted at the University of Miami. I did maintain a degree from there, which I'm grateful for. But me going to FAU, it was kind of like the buck stops here. Like I really have to make something happen. I really have to showcase my skills. I've had shortcoming after shortcoming, bump in the road after bump in the road, and I just felt like I need to now prove myself. I need to make myself proud. I know what I'm capable of, but everyone else doesn't. So it wasn't so much for everyone else. It was more so for me versus me that year, and that's why the season turned out the way that it did. Um, After practice, I would stay. Uh, we had an upstairs gym, a practice facility upstairs, and I would spend hours in there. My little brother, on my father's side, he would come in, rebound for me. We would play 1-on-1. I played a lot of 1-on-1 in that year, and I think that's what also helped solidify a lot of things that turned out good for that season. Um, I just spent countless hours in the gym. I was either in the gym or in my dorm. I just spent a whole lot of hours. I mean, I'm in the gym at 12 a.m. They never closed. So, and this was in
Mhm.
the middle of COVID. So no one was coming to check. I just had access to the gym, and my coach knew, Coach Jim Jabir, and Coach Prim. They all knew what my ethic was, and they never tried to stop it. They only supported it.
Okay. And when talking about your little brother, how little are we talking about at the moment?
So he's 24 now. So it's just a
Okay.
3 year age.
Okay.
It's a three
So I
year
was
age gap. He's still
expecting
my
just
little
you
brother.
playing against a kid. Okay. Okay.
No, no,
And I was like, why would you take pleasure in beating down a kid on a
no,
daily
exactly. Yeah.
basis? Yeah. Okay. And then you graduated, right? Again? Am I right? And go
No.
to Old Dominion, or you got your bachelor's? This is where you got
So
your
I got my
bachelor's.
no, I got my bachelor's at the University of Miami. I
Okay.
went to FAU for my grad year.
Okay.
I started in the leadership program, and there's a rule once you transfer to another school, you can't. You now have to start over your
Yeah.
grad year. Your yeah. So once I left FAU, I didn't know that. I went over to ODU, and I had to start over my grad year. So I
Okay.
didn't maintain my master's yet, but I will go.
Okay.
I will be going back to school. Yeah,
Okay. And what will be your master's in, probably?
maybe criminal justice, or I may get a
Awesome.
master's in communications.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
already have a bachelor's in communications of science, so I may
Okay.
as well.
Awesome. And coming back to the basketball part, you graduate and you go to Old Dominion, and you again make all CUSA first team, right? And
Mm-hmm.
how did it feel to again move out of Florida? Because you were in the Florida area and then you moved to Old Dominion, right?
Hmm. Yeah. So once I went to ODU, I'm like, this is my last go round. I've already been out of the state, played in state. Let's just see what I can do. I have to make the most noise this year. So I partnered with Coach Delisha Milton Jones, and we made that year happen. It was a really good relationship that we have. Um, and I trusted her from the moment that we had our first conversation to me committing to the school and finishing out the year. So ODU was probably one of my favorite experiences.
Okay, okay. And when did you decide that you were gonna turn pro?
I always knew that I was going to go pro,
Okay.
or at least aspire to play professionally. But it was definitely mm, my FA when I was at FAU. I got an email uh, inquiring about my medical records from the WNBA. Um, and then once I went to ODU, Coach Delisha Milton Jones is a former WNBA champion. Um, and WNBA players. So I just felt like it was smart to partner with her and try and see what we can make happen in that year.
Okay. And you ended up playing in Slovakia first.
Hmm.
How did it feel to move to Eastern Europe? Because people usually pick like something, well, if they have the chance, of course, something more safer, if I may put it, that the jump isn't as big, right? But this was just a leap
Hmm.
because this is not like Central or Western Europe. This is Eastern Europe, kind of a different culture. How did it feel? How did you adapt?
Well, it was definitely a culture shock. It was de- very different, more different than anything that I've ever encountered overseas. I mean, it was super cold. Um, I did learn a few a few of their native language words.
Okay.
Um, the basketball gym, I just had to get used to a lot of things. Playing in a cold gym, um, the language barrier part. So I feel like if I was to play in the most uncomfortable year, I'd rather it had been my first year. So now I know what I don't want to, what I don't want to do again. And
Yeah.
playing in
Okay.
Slovakia, it was good. My first year. It was my first year pro. I played Euro Cup. Um, I played very well in the league. And then when December came, I just decided that I wanted to, just transition and go somewhere else,
Yeah, and you picked something that's even colder, which is
which
okay.
I
And
didn't know.
okay, so you went to Helsinki in Finland, right? So quite the first year. And what did you do in Finland apart from basketball? Because I'm guessing that, well, when springtime is obviously much nicer there, but winters are really harsh. So what did you do during those cold winter months?
Uh, just try to stay warm. I
Okay.
stayed in the house a lot. I stayed in my apartment a lot. My teammates, they were really nice. Actually, Finland is one of the nicest countries in the world. I think they're
That's
ranked
true.
number 6. So they were super nice, super, super welcoming. Um, a little bit different from Slovakia, and I just really tried to stay cool. But once I stay warm, so once I got there, it was about March, so it was starting to get warm by
Yeah.
May or like April. So I didn't really have such a bad experience
Hmm.
in Finland with the weather. I'm maybe a month. It was about maybe a month, but that's much better than from the time I got to Slovakia. It was cold from the time I left. So yeah, Finland was much better. And I
Yeah.
heard that I wasn't there to experience it, but before I left, it was starting to get a little warm. And I heard that Finland has about just 3 weeks of summer and then it's right back cold. So I would have loved to stay to experience that.
Yeah, the summers are really beautiful. I mean, okay, so then you do a 180 and you play in Puerto Rico, albeit for just 5 games, and then you go to Hungary. So then in 2024 we have Mexico, and in 2025 we have Lebanon. Any memorable experiences in those places?
Mm, I was just really blessed to be in the city area of Hungary. Hungary was beautiful. I really enjoyed my time there. It was one of my favorite experiences. For Mexico, I always wanted to play in Mexico. Uh, I had already been to Mexico playing at Mississippi State. We played in the Cancun tournament. But anything memorable, I would have to say hands down, Lebanon is my favorite country that I played in. There were 2 Americans per team, about 9 teams. And I've met, and it's not even about basketball. Why it was my best experience. I met a lot of quality, personable people, and we're still friends to this day. We talk every day. Um, so basketball not only, builds you a career, it builds you a family. And I met a lot of great people in Lebanon.
Okay. And since you're a foodie, what's from the food perspective, which country had the best cuisine?
Lebanon.
Okay, okay.
Lebanon had the best food.
Okay, can you tell us more about what sort of dishes you
Well,
were
it
having
was
on like a regular basis?
okay. It was, I think, our Lebanese. I'm trying to. I don't want to mess this up, but I think Lebanese. Uh, they eat Armenian food. Is it Armenian food? I believe.
Mm.
Um, I tried that, but I was eating most like American food. Their food was just really fresh. Um, they had places like with Philly cheesesteak burgers and fries and stuff like that. So their food was really good and fresh. It was everything that I was already used to, and I could find it anywhere. So, but as far as like the best cuisine, like the native, like the native
Hmm.
country's food, I would say Turkey. I love Turkey's their food. I love their food.
Okay, okay.
I love Turkish food. Yeah.
And anything you can recommend?
Kebab, uh, shikirte. Shakirte
Mm-hmm.
is like something that they bring out at the beginning, like before you get the entree, and then kebab is the actual entree. It's like a long piece of meat, and you eat it with bread. And I know what my teammates right now, if they were to overhear this conversation, they would probably say that that's really the best thing that you think that you've eaten here, and that would be my answer. Yes, all the time. That's the best. I love the kebab here.
Okay. Did you have falafel as well, or not really?
I have not tried the falafel
Okay,
yet. And most
okay,
of these meals, I've probably eaten them, but I can't recall the name to.
okay. Sure, sure. And before you ended up in Turkey, you played in Kosovo. So this is kind of an exotic country, right? Because it's very small. And you played there
Mhm.
for I think 9 games, right? Three league games and 6 or 5 Euro Cup games, something like that.
Mhm.
Probably
Yes,
in single figures in total. So what was that experience like to move to Kosovo?
it was great. That was a team that I was on with many Americans. Kind of felt like Mexico all over again, with as many American faces that I saw. So again, that was a country that I met some super quality people, some great people. Um, and just to be on a team that allowed so many Americans, I had a lot more people that I could relate to, I could talk to, and we could just get through things together. But playing once again for Euro Cup is just always a great thing. We didn't accomplish what we wanted to out of that, but it's just a blessing to play in the Euro Cup again.
Yeah, yeah. And well, apart from being a foodie, you're also quite a cook, right? You like to
Mhm.
present the stuff that you prepare. So your free, well, let's make it free, flagship dishes. Do you have like free dishes that you're able to make at any time and just they always come out perfect?
Yes. So I love a smothered chicken. Smothered chicken, I can make that. Smothered chicken with mashed potatoes, like a vegetable medley. That's something that's a go-to. I've also changed the way that I eat a lot since the beginning of this year. So I would say vegetable medley, um, maybe some mackerel or sardines or salmon or something like some
Okay.
sort of fish, and then quinoa, white quinoa or black quinoa mix.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So we're moving towards like the healthier choices. Okay.
Yes,
When it
yes.
when it comes to your cheat meals, what's your like go-to cheat meal that always uplifts you when you're down?
Kebab or a Big Mac from McDonald's.
Okay. Okay. Just one? Because they keep making them smaller and smaller, so it's like just one.
Yeah, I have a small stomach. I can't eat all that
Okay.
food. One
Okay.
one one Big Mac, the fries and the drink, and I'm good.
Okay. 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 Okay, thank you, Iggy, so much for your time, and I hope that as your season progresses, you will become just better and better, and eventually you will end up playing in all those places that you've mentioned that are on your bucket list as well.
I hope so. By the
So,
grace of God.
yeah, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of
Thank
your
you.
day.
You as well. Bye bye.
Thank you.